Welcome to Formula One 101. If you're new to the sport of F1 or you're just trying to learn more, you're in the right place. Why do we hand out penalties? Well, of course, if you're not following the rules, the FIA is going to penalize you for it, because otherwise, why would you follow the rules? But the penalties will vary on the severity of the problem. So let's jump into the different types. We have fines, which are just like they sound. It is a financial penalty. These can range in price depending on the severity of the incident. They can also be handed out separately, but they are typically handed out alongside another penalty. Fines can happen on and off the track. The most common one is a time penalty. These are 5 or 10 seconds, and each time depends again on the incident. Now, these are usually taken during a pit stop. So the driver will pit, everything will happen, and then they have to sit an extra 5 or 10 seconds, and nobody can touch the car for improvements. If the car is touched within the penalty time, they can receive another one. Now, what happens if they don't pit but are handed a penalty? That penalty time will be added onto one of the lap times, and you don't want that because that can drop your position. Now we have the drive-through and the stop and go. Stop and go is super similar to a time penalty. You get the time penalty, you go into the pits, and you have to stop for that amount of time. And again, nobody can touch your car. You have to wait the time, and then you can move on. A drive-through penalty requires them to go through the pit lane at pit speed before re-entering the track. Both of these penalties have to be done within 2 laps of receiving the notification. The only exception is if there's any type of safety car. If that's the case, you can wait for the safety car to be lifted, and then you have to follow the penalty right after. Let's talk about grid penalties. Essentially, this penalty causes the driver to drop either 5 or 10 places below where they should be. You have disqualifications or suspensions. These only happen in very serious cases, but they do happen. Penalties are not limited to just drivers. Teams can receive them as well. Disqualifications typically happen if there's technical errors, such as the car being too light. That just means the car cannot be driven in that race. Suspension means the car has to sit out at the next event, and you do not want that. Now there are penalty points. The FIA hands out the penalty points, and it goes on to the super license, which all drivers are required to have to be in Formula One. Now each point lasts 12 months. If you get 12 points, you get a one-time race ban. Now, to get a point, the race director has to find the penalty and report it to the stewards, who then decide if it is a penalty, not a penalty, or needs more investigation. Now, there are times where we don't agree with a penalty, or we think someone should have gotten a penalty, and I would love to hear from you on when you think one of those were. And as always, follow for everything Formula One.